everyone, my name is Eric Hopkins, aka JEL. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So the NFL free agency period has officially opened. It was supposed to open up on Wednesday, but for whatever reason, legal tampering is allowed on Monday, I believe. So we've had transactions throughout the entire week. We've had people like Kirk Cousins going to the Atlanta Falcons. We've had Austin Eckler going over to the Washington Commanders. We've had all sorts of movement throughout the NFL. I mean, it's been a free agency frenzy, for lack of a better term. But I thought it'd be kind of cool to get on here and discuss a little bit of what the Indianapolis Colts have done personally. As a Colts fan, I really enjoy talking about my favorite team here on the channel. So, yeah, I mean, let's take a look at what they've kind of done already. Obviously, this tweet's a little old, so it's not got every single person on here, but it's important to note that the Colts, for the most part, have re-signed a lot of their players that they already had, but they were important, vital needs. First and foremost, being Michael Pittman Jr. Obviously, I did a video on the channel about how he had been franchise tagged and how we were hoping that the contract would eventually happen. It has officially happened. They've also re-signed Kenny Moore, who has been a major contributor in the secondary. We needed to have him back. He was vital to the team. Grover Stewart and Tyquan Lewis on the defensive line. We've definitely needed to get them back. Grover Stewart, especially as a big time run stuffer. Zaire Franklin, after losing Shaquille Leonard last year due to injury / him leaving for another team, Zaire Franklin stepped up and has actually been the better linebacker as of late. And EJ Speed, along with him, we definitely needed to shore up the linebacker position. So Zaire Franklin getting an extension here. And Rigoberto Sanchez, our punter. We've also re-signed, I think, Trey Sermon at this point. I think I can't remember if there's any other re-signings per se, but the Colts have also picked up a couple free agents. So Roquan, I think his name is Roquan Davis. I think that's how you say his name, or Raquan Davis from Miami. Big, massive man, like 300 some pounds, 6'7". He's a big dude, and he's going to be a rotational spot, probably at the defensive tackle spot, probably the nose tackle spot coming in there. And not listed here, but recently added as well as Joe Flacco. We picked him up as our backup quarterback behind Anthony Richardson. Hopefully, he'll be able to stay healthy this year, Anthony Richardson. But if not, it sounds like the Colts have a little bit of a plan as for a backup spot. Joe Flacco was a Pro Bowler last year for the Cleveland Browns, and he was a great quarterback for them, leading them into the playoffs. Unfortunately, they didn't last long in the playoffs. But notwithstanding, even if Anthony Richardson stays healthy, Joe Flacco should be a great leader to be able to teach Anthony Richardson a few things, much in the way like Matt Hasselbeck taught and Andrew Luck a few things back in the day. So I mean, I think that's all things considered. That is the best backup situation you could have asked for as a Colts fan. That also does mean, though, that the Colts have lost Gardner Minshew. Of course, he is going to the Las Vegas Raiders. Zach Moss as well, the backup to Jonathan Taylor, will now be a possibly lead back in Cincinnati with the Bengals. Now, these two guys, I don't necessarily begrudge them for going out, because they proved last year that they are able to carry their own weight and obviously be a starter in this league. So they want a chance to start, and I don't blame them there. The Raiders, Minshew is going to be competing with Aiden O'Connell, as they have let go of Jimmy Garoppolo and Brian Hoyer. And of course, Cincinnati has now let go of Joe Mixon after picking up Zach Moss. And Joe Mixon will now be in the AFC South division with the Colts, as he has now gone to the Houston Texans. So the Houston Texans also loading up big here. So yeah, I mean, this is a good thing. I think the Colts have done a pretty good job. I know there's a lot. I was trying to hold out on this video as long as I possibly could, because there's a lot of talk going around the league that the Colts could be in the market for Kansas City Chiefs cornerback L'Jarius Sneed. But as of right now, as of recording, that has not happened yet. There's even reports going around that the Chiefs may end up retaining Sneed's services themselves. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, we've got some photos from the Colts, obviously, of Zaire Franklin. We've got Michael Pittman. It looks like he's holding a football baby right there. But yeah, and then we've Kenny Moore, and then Grover Stewart, obviously signing their deals. for the team. So yes, that is absolutely great to see. I'm very glad that we've gotten back who we've gotten back. Like I said, I think they're all vital pieces to this team. And if you listen to Chris Ballard, he says, with all these contracts and things, a lot of these are like 3 to 4 year deals, most of them 3 year deals. And then you look at the rookie deal for Anthony Richardson and Jonathan Taylor just re-signed last year. He's talking about how we've got like a 3 year window, and I could very much agree with him there. Like we've got all these guys locked in now for about 3 years. We've got to take that next step forward. If we had not lost the Cleveland Browns game last year, which the NFL says that we should have won that game, they took responsibility and said that they made the wrong call at the end of the game. We would have made the playoffs last year, and probably we would have won the division, but that did not happen. So, and speaking of that, though, there's actually a little bit of news on that front. Apparently, the Indianapolis Colts have proposed a rule change to the league. The Colts have proposed that a change that a coach or a replay official can challenge any penalty that has been called on the field, holding the refs accountable. This is all due to the fact of the Colts lost the Cleveland Browns game by a couple official calls where the Colts had won the game and the game was over, but due to the officials making terrible calls, the Colts lost that game. Now I know credit to where it's due. I think Bill Belichick has called for a rule change to this effect many, many times. Either everything can be challenged or nothing can be challenged, is what he used to say, I think. And I agree with Bill in this case. And as a Colts fan, obviously, I have reasons to want this change to happen. Much like I think the Buffalo Bills at one point wanted to change the overtime rules due to the fact that they lost against Kansas City without being able to touch the ball and things like that. So I'm hoping that this change also takes place. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But good to see the Colts are taking that step forward to possibly, propose this change to the rule book here, and we'll see how that goes. But what do you guys think about the Colts and their free agency so far? Are you looking for other things? I know Zaire Franklin was, kind of pushing for. Uh, Quandre Diggs, which is a free safety from the Seattle Seahawks, who's currently a free agent. That would be a good pickup. And of course, he was also angling for L'Jarius Sneed to come here as well. I personally would like to see the Colts possibly even make a trade for T. Higgins, the wide receiver out of Cincinnati. I don't know what you'd have to give up to get him, but I think he'd be a great compliment on the other side of Michael Pittman. Alec Pierce still needs a little bit of seasoning, if you ask me, but I'm hoping for some of those moves. Hopefully, they'll take place. And I think we still need to sign back Julian Blackman as well. Let's hope we can get him back before the week is out and going into next week as well. But what do you guys think? Do you think the Colts have done a great job so far? Comment down below and let me know what you guys think. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. And until my next video, guys, take care and God bless.